It's finally here, the Meta Quest 3 is in our hands. I've had it for just under a week, so it's time I did my review and let you know whether you should purchase or avoid. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room. The straps and the facial interface in the Quest 3 are only a minor improvement to the Quest 2. That Y shape at the back helps a small amount, but the material is the same as the Quest 2. The headset does feel more secure, but this is testament to the headset being thinner, which in turn makes it sit closer to your face. This in effect changes the centre of gravity, so it isn't out in front of your face, pulling down. It's a shame about the strap quality, especially with that £479 price tag. Here's what we can do about it after shelling out for the headset. Meta have some accessories on offer, two of which are the same stock straps but in some cool colours. I love both the elemental blue and the blood orange colours, but unfortunately I won't be purchasing due to comfort, or lack thereof, as it's the same material as the stock strap that we found on the Quest 2. They're also a whopping 50 quid, yikes. The Pro strap is also on the cards again at a huge £130 for the version with the battery and 70 bones without. Remember what happened last time with the Pro strap for the Quest 2? Yeah, the arms were snapping. I'd wait a bit and find out what's going on with those before considering a purchase. Or better yet, do what most of us regular Quest 1 and Quest 2 users did, replace the stock interface and strap for the brilliant third-party options on offer. Check out my Quest 2 and tell me you don't want to shove your face in that bad boy and bung on some breeches for a few hours. I've been using third-party products from a couple of companies for a long time now, years, and I wanted to give some props where props are due. Firstly, let's talk about the brand VR Cover. The company is the first company to ever offer VR comfort and hygiene accessories, and have been for almost 10 years. So you've probably seen this cool red cover that goes over the top of my stock Quest 3 interface. This product is aptly called the VR Cover for Meta Quest 3, and is the first product the company have for the Quest 3, and I really recommend it. It's an affordable solution to the Quest 3 comfort issue. It's available in two colours, grey, or this red as you can see. This bad boy has added a thin foam lining for extra comfort. It's also very soft and has an antimicrobial fabric, perfect for intense sessions if you're a sweaty rhino like me. It'll absorb all that moisture up and then you can just bung it in the wash. Each purchase comes with two covers, so you can still use the spare while you wash the first one. Hey, don't be a skank, use something that's more hygienic if you're going to sweat one out playing 11 table tennis. I'm lucky enough to have VR Cover sponsor this segment of the video, and they've given me a set of VR covers for Meta Quest 3 to give away to you lovely lot in your choice of red or the grey. They've also given me a 10% off code for you to use on any of the Meta Quest 3 products in the VR Cover store. Links to the description, just chuck in the code GooseyGoggles VRQ3, all one word. To enter the giveaway, all you have to do is hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't previously, and then leave a comment down below with your favourite VR game to play. I'll draw the winner at the end of the month and get in contact via YouTube. I'll then send you an email how to claim the prize. Be careful only to reply to my message once you've checked and double checked that is this official Goosey Goggles VR channel messaging you. Stay safe out there. Onto a third-party strap upgrade. Check out this. This is the Bobo VR M2 Pro Halo design strap, paired up with the VR Cover facial interface. The Halo design means that the weight isn't distributed on the sides of your head, but rather on your forehead, akin to the PlayStation VR2. These Bobo VR products are built really well and feature a battery on the back that doubles the playtime of the headset without one. Also, it makes a really satisfying noise when connected. Bobo VR have a couple of options for our shiny new Quest 3. You can buy the new Bobo VR M3 Pro, that's built from the ground up for the Quest 3, or if you're like me and you own the Bobo M2 Pro, you can purchase the M2 Pro to M3 Pro retrofit kit. It allows you to save a bit of money and reuse most of the components you already have. Imagine that, a company that actually focuses on reusing technology you already own in new ways to reduce wastage. It's not actually out yet, it's due out very soon, but products like these retrofit kits are why I'll always use Bobo VR, as I know they put consumers first. My most anticipated feature on the Quest 3 did not disappoint. I'm thrilled to say that these pancake lenses are great. They're super clear and the sweet spot is greatly increased, meaning you won't have to wiggle the headset to get the centre of the lens to match up with your pupil, like you did on the Quest 2 or even the PSVR2's Fresnel lenses. I've also noticed minimal glare or unintended God rays from the lenses, which have been reported in other VR headsets using pancake lenses. These lenses are also more compact than the Fresnel lenses we find on the Quest 2 and the PlayStation VR2, hence its name. That's the reduction in size that makes them feel lighter, even though it's a very similar weight to the Quest 2. We also see a return of the original Oculus Quest's IPD range slider, although this time it's a little wheel on the bottom. For those unaware, the IPD is the distance between your eyes. The new dial lets you choose from an IPD range between 58mm and 71mm. That's much better than the Quest 2, which has a 58mm, 63mm and 68mm IPD range presets. That's obviously not going to be sufficient to accommodate everyone. I got my eyes checked at the optician recently and they gave me a 64 IPD, so on the Quest 2, no matter what, I was always 1mm out. Doesn't sound like much, but it makes all the difference. The FOV has also jumped up to 110 degrees, which is a 15% gain over that 89 degrees on the original Quest 2. It greatly increases the immersion when you're in virtual reality worlds. The Quest 3 features the new Gen 2 Snapdragon XR2 processor, which has the power to output twice the graphical fidelity over the original Quest 2 processor. Now of course we haven't had the chance yet to play any games built from the ground up to fully use the Quest 3's power, as there really are no launch titles for this device. From the improvements we can see, it's very clear that the extra power is definitely shortening that gap between standalone VR and low-end PC running VR. The games that have had a resolution increase look fantastic, paired up with the new pancake lenses, and it's a real step up from any standalone device that I've used prior. I've noticed this when I'm recording on the device. With the Quest 2, the device used to slow and drop frames when playing intense games at the same time as recording. Now I know most of you aren't going to be recording while playing games, but for me that's hard evidence of the Snapdragon XR2 processor just outperforming its predecessor. Check out this Into the Radius footage from CM Games that you can play right now. This game is full of atmosphere and just looks incredible inside the new device. This is probably one of my favourite games on the Quest system, and I'm so happy that jumping in on the Quest 3 makes it feel like a whole new experience. We also got an upgrade in the brand new, hot off the press Dungeons of Eternity. Now this game has a toggle inside the menu so we can see a before and after. Let's check it out. So this is the Quest 3 version. You can see the lighting looks fantastic and it's really nice and sharp. Notice this lighting bloom at the top here, looks great. Check out this axe as well, looks nice and sharp, and you can notice the reflections on the top there on the metal. In the options we can flick it back to Quest 2. So you've lost all of that light bloom. It's noticeably less sharper as well, a softer image. Still looks great though for Quest 2. Those God rays look great up there for Quest 2. Let's flick back to Quest 3. Oh yeah, just so much sharper. Come on then, stay back, foul beast! Back to the hells with you! Huzzah! Oh god. Oh. Existing games that have developers working hard to deliver a better experience include Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, not Chapter 2, with its reduced fog, increased draw distances and many more zombies permitted on screen at any one time. We have Aspire 2 with its increase in detailing, particularly in the lighting department. Golf Plus is granting us much more dense foliage, making it a much more realistic game on the holes. I'm sure you've already heard that Red Matter 2 looks even sharper on the Quest 3, and the textures even more detailed. Like that gorgeous game needed any more visual work. It's already the best looking game on the system. Upgrades you can expect from the increase in power include things like more intense weather effects, increase in frame rates and better reflections in water. It's all awesome stuff. So that's all great when developers take the time to go in and give us upgrades using the power of the Quest 3. But does our existing library look any better? Found that games do look a little sharper, but that might be down to the very impressive pancake lens on the device. I really wouldn't expect miracles in unsupported games if I'm honest. I don't think many people are buying this device to purely play older, no longer supported games. But if that is you, just stick with your Quest 2. For those looking to the future of VR, I wouldn't let that dishearten you, because as I've previously mentioned, it seems that the game devs are actually getting in there and giving us the goods. The built-in speakers are found in a very similar place to the Quest 2, but are vastly improved. Found them to have much more bass when compared to the Quest 2 speakers, and a little bit more volume. Part of this increase might just be that my Quest 2 is pretty hammered by this point, but Meta do claim themselves that the Quest 3 has a 40% increase in audio range volume over the Quest 2. I don't have any means to confirm this figure, but all I can say is I'm very happy with the audio. It sounds great. On the front of the Quest 3, we have these 3 black pills, which are cameras and sensors used for tracking, but also pass-through. The one on the left and the right house 4 megapixel full-colour pass-through cameras for a much improved MR experience. The middle is a depth sensor, so the device can pick up tables, walls and your ceiling automatically. I really think the headset looks great. I think it looks quite iconic with those striking black pills, and will live on in my memory long past its shelf life. Up there with the N64 controller and the original Xbox Duke controller.
Bill, you've certainly revolutionized the technology we know today. Wow.
Now mixed reality, or MR, may at first seem a bit of a gimmick. Why would I want to play table tennis in my room when I could play in the Alps in a nice warm lodge using virtual reality? I get that, I really do. I was absolutely convinced I wouldn't get MR. After playing the very small First Encounters experience, I get it now. It's fun. Those little colourful blobs were hiding behind my girlfriend's crap and under my desk chair, and I had a blast blasting them in the face. No, really, I do see why it's important for VR. Talking of my partner, whenever I ask her to put on the headset to check out a wicked new walkabout mini golf environment, or my spooky surroundings and Into the Radius, I can sort of see the panic set in. For most normal people who aren't fascinated by shoving little screens in front of their eyeballs like us, it is scary being removed from reality and placed into a virtual one. I know most of us shove these headsets on like it's a breeze, but for the masses, it's a tough ask. It's much less abrasive to give them an MR experience first, to ease them in. A gateway drug, if you will. That way we can get them all hooked and enjoy our obsessive addiction together. Lovely. I haven't got much more on MR other than that, to be honest. I don't think it's why most of you are here anyway. It's cool, it works well, there aren't any games yet, that's it. The pass-through is much better now though. You can now use your phone normally without having to peek through that little nose gap. For those of you who are long-time watchers of my videos, you'll know I've spoken about my issues with the Quest 2 controllers and the stick drift I've experienced from heavy use. Obviously I can't really speak about this further as I haven't had the Quest 3 controllers long enough. Only time will tell, I guess. Sticks do feel great at the moment, nice and new, but there is a small gripe I have. The sticks seem to have a weird click to them that doesn't seem to serve any purpose when you lightly touch them. Nothing. What's that all about? It's not a deal breaker, but when I'm already super skeptical about the quality, it does worry me. Also worth mentioning that while many people have agreed with me that the Quest 2 controllers did lack in quality parts to make the sticks last, there are many of my commenters who didn't experience any problems at all with the last gen, so take my opinion with a pinch of salt, your experience may vary. The design of the controllers is very nice. It's familiar, but obviously much more sleek without the tracking rings. I always seem to bang these together when my hands needed to be close. The battery door cover no longer slides off. My original Quest 2 controller battery covers were incredibly stiff. When I sent the first one off to get repaired for the first time for the aforementioned stick drift, my replacement had a battery cover that was so loose it would slide off during gameplay. I'm glad to say that Meta have solved this issue with a little release button to remove the covers. Much better. The controllers track wonderfully. The Quest 2 controllers also tracked wonderfully. I would say they track pretty similar to the Quest 2, which is to say they're near on perfect, even in low light. As long as they aren't occluded, like behind your back, you'll need the Quest Pro's self-tracking controllers with their own inside-out tracking cameras for perfect tracking like that. The new Quest 3 controllers do a great job, however, using its built-in AI spatial awareness in all those hard-to-reach places. It's early days, but I'm pretty confident they'll be great in the long term. I do keep trying to put them down onto the tracking ring part that doesn't exist, and then they slam down on my desk. That's just me being a silly goose. What about battery life? So far I'm nowhere near draining the battery on my controller, even after all my testing, so I would hazard a guess that they will easily last just as long as the Quest 2 controllers on one single AA battery. On the note of power, I found that the headset should last around 2 to 2.5 hours while gaming, and it takes around 2 hours to fully charge. It's really not that great, to be honest, which is one of the reasons why I recommend these Bobo VR head straps with its built-in external rechargeable battery. It'll double your playtime, and if you need more than that, just grab another battery. Hand tracking is just as ropey as it's always been. It's okay, but it's a long way off from matching the instant response of a controller. It's fine, it's fun jumping into Piano Vision for 10 minutes and messing around with an AR keyboard. Its fun really stems from the MR feature set more than the hand tracking itself. That being said, we're not going to be jumping into some action shooters with just our hands, no controller for a little while yet. I'm not even sure if I ever would want to without that trigger feedback. So in conclusion, if you buy the Quest 3, you can either sell your Quest 2 or put it in the console collection, as you'll never need it again. Quest 3 improves upon the Quest 2 in just about every aspect. Faster processor, clearer optics, sleeker controllers, and crisper high-resolution displays make it a must-buy for VR enthusiasts. I do believe the Quest 2 still has a place, while it's being supported, for those who want to dip their toes in now and again, but for those of us who want to really enjoy these hardcore experiences, like Into the Radius, Breaches, Ghosts of Tabor, or any of the games mentioned that have developer upgrades available, what are you still doing here? Get to the store and get one. Thanks for watching Goosey Goggles VR. My name's still Dan and probably always will be. See ya. Hey, today we're checking out the new Dungeons of Eternity, and we're doing it solo. Check out that fog, that looks awesome. What foul creatures reside in here? Have at thee! Ah, zombie. Let's check out these bows first, shall we? Love a good bow.